What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. My name is Joey Petersen. So happy that you guys are joining us on your Saturday nights. We put out a video a little bit ago. I got to be honest with you. I got on a fake quote on social media. Happens to us all. I'm sure it's happened to you. I'm just a little bit scared for what's going to happen when I'm old and gullible, and maybe we'll give away my Social Security information when I'm 70 years old. So there's that to worry about. But we do have a new video for you guys. Some trade rumors on Maxx Crosby from Jeff Zrebiec of The Athletic, lead Ravens insider. We're going to break them down, talk about the possibilities right here. Real quickly, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We give you daily videos during this head coaching search. We're going to have it covered like nobody else. So make sure you guys lock us in. 13 subs away from 44,000. I just need 13 diehard Ravens fans to lock us in for free. Let's talk about Maxx Crosby, okay? I feel like Maxx Crosby is the guy of every single Ravens fan's dreams. Pause. But I think you get what I'm saying. There's a reason we talked about him last offseason a lot. There's a reason we talked about him around the trade deadline a lot. He just feels like he would fit almost perfectly and seamlessly in Baltimore. Feels like he already has that attitude of what play like a Raven means. And it feels like his career, his talent, his life is being wasted away in Las Vegas. And Jeff Zrebiec agrees. He talks a little bit about the defensive changes you want to see in Baltimore and who might help those. Spoiler alert, it's Maxx Crosby. You want your defense to get off the field more often and in this pattern of gut-wrenching losses and blown leads. You want your defense to get back to being feared again. Be willing to dip into your draft capital and trade a young player or two to acquire Las Vegas Raiders pass rusher Maxx Crosby. He'd completely changed the face of the Ravens defense, which had a rough 2025. And frankly, I could not agree more with every word that Jeff Zrebiec just said. And I love that one of the guys who is as much of an insider in this Ravens team is saying the exact same thing. Because it shows me that it's not just us, the fan base, that feels that way. But it's also those who are woven intimately into this team as well. And Maxx Crosby did put out something on Twitter today, a couple of hours ago. It was a little wide receiver-ish, if you know what I'm saying. Said everything happens for a reason. What's meant to be cannot be denied. What's already known doesn't have to be explained. When it's all said and done, I will be a champion, one of the greatest to ever do it. They can sleep and doubt all they want, but cream always rises to the top. The greatest days are ahead. 8 surgeries in, obsession, discomfort, sacrifice. I'm willing to give it all to achieve my goals. Adversity will always reveal a man's character. Year 8 incoming. This shit is about to be iconic. Don't blink. We've heard over the last couple of months or so that there's been a little bit of growing dissension between Maxx Crosby and Las Vegas Raiders, and it seems like this is the perfect time to strike. Because right now, even though it feels like the Raiders have been in rebuild mode for centuries, they are in the ultimate rebuild mode right now. They're going to have a new head coach. They hired a new GM a calendar year ago. They're going to have the first overall pick, new quarterback. Like everything is new. So if you can offer a high draft pick, which you got a decently high draft pick, some young players that could get them excited as well, that would for sure sweeten the deal for both sides of this thing. Because that's the thing about the National Football League. It has to benefit both, or at least the opposite team has to think it benefits them as well. I would do a lot for Maxx Crosby. I truly would. We've talked about it. We talked about it all season long. The play like a Raven mentality is gone in Baltimore. It does not exist anymore, ladies and gentlemen. There's no toughness, mentally or physically. There's no aggression. That's gone. It hasn't existed in a while. It definitely didn't exist for the 2025 Baltimore Ravens. First step in getting it back, hiring the right head coach. Second step in getting it back is getting the right players in the building. Right now, your edge rushers are Mike Green, Tavius Robinson, and Adisa Isaac. Those are the edge rushers you have on contract right now. Kyle Van Noy, he's a free agent. Draymond Jones, he's a free agent. That's it. You need this position desperately. And we've talked a lot about draft targets. Hell, we're going to talk about draft targets tomorrow morning. We constantly mention edge rusher being a top need. If you could use one of those draft picks, get an edge rusher, and that's Maxx Crosby, who's already a known thing, a known commodity, a known star. There's not a bigger dog on the defensive line in all of the National Football League than Maxx Crosby. If you make him a Baltimore Raven, this thing is also getting a good head coach. It's going to turn around. Should the Ravens trade for Maxx Crosby? Give me a yes or no in the comment section down below. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Weigh in with your answer and tell me what you guys say. I got to tell you guys real quick about our awesome sponsor of today's show, our great friends over at Prize Picks. And whether, because it's new year, you're starting a new routine or doing player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every week and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops, and Prize Picks lets you take control. Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups for winners with a single click. Speaking of copying lineups, here are my lineups for tonight's game. Bears-Packers. Got the more on Colston Loveland for half a rushing and receiving touchdown. More on DJ Moore for half a rushing yard. And then tomorrow, I got the more on Drake May, 236.5 passing yards. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Before we get out of here, The Athletic dropped an article earlier today, and I got 5 takeaways that we've got to discuss, okay? It was all about the Baltimore Ravens firing John Harbaugh and really what's gone down over the past, I guess, week or so. I think even leading up to the final game against Pittsburgh. Number 1, the Ravens actually fired John Harbaugh over the phone. He was in the car on the way back to his house in Baltimore County. Very, very surprising there, and honestly, Gage, you can keep going from full screen to this just to keep the screen moving. Honestly, I don't really love that. Look, John Harbaugh is a guy that, yeah, we've talked a lot about him over the last couple of weeks, over the last couple of months. Not a very glowing light, but he won you a Super Bowl, and he's given 18 unbelievable seasons to the fans in Baltimore and to this franchise. I don't think it's a smart move. I don't think it's a very, very, respectful move to fire a guy like that. True. Number 2, veteran players urging Lamar Jackson to be more vocal in the decisions for the Baltimore Ravens. We already kind of briefly discussed this. Now, look, I don't want him to be like LeBron, to be like Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. I don't want him to be calling the shots, but I would like him to be a little bit more vocal, okay? He is the center of this franchise. Right now, he's the sun. Everybody's rotating around him. Hate it or not, that's the way it is with star quarterbacks in the National Football League, and you got one. Number 3, came out. We already kind of knew this. Harbaugh didn't have the best relationship with any of the star players, so I imagine that means Lamar, Zay, Derrick Henry. Now, it didn't say those relationships were strained. It didn't say that they didn't like him. It didn't say that anybody hated each other. It's just he didn't have the best relationship with them. They weren't boys. Doesn't surprise anybody. Doesn't surprise me. Monken was criticized anonymously by players throughout the organization. They didn't really like his coaching style. Can be brash, can be aggressive at times. That doesn't really fly with this day and age of football players, and I don't think they appreciate it. I don't think they liked it. Now, is that soft to them? Maybe. That's why they kind of played soft all year, I would say. But regardless, it is what it is. And then the last takeaway from the article from The Athletic, it was a little bit awkward between Lamar, Monken, and Harbaugh. This came out a couple of weeks ago that Lamar Jackson and Todd Monken maybe didn't have the best relationship. They weren't like this. They weren't pals. Lamar definitely a lot closer with quarterback coach T. Martin. But Harbaugh was kind of trying to have to be that middle mediator. And Harbaugh even didn't have that great of a relationship with Lamar either in the first place. So just a weird spot. Again, we think it's the right decision to have moved on. But if you watch that video they put out a couple days ago, thank you, John Harbaugh video. It's tough for fans, man. It's going to be weird. No John Harbaugh on the sideline, even though I think it's best for the team moving forward. We're going to get out of here. Make sure you guys got me followed on socials. We'll be back tomorrow. Some draft targets to look for. So Ravens got the 14th overall pick. Going to be a fun offseason, and we'll see you tomorrow.